Hello and good morning. Is it still morning? It is by like 10 minutes. Hello and good morning. It is a beautiful Thursday morning, although it feels like it's fall already and it's not even the end of August. Well, it is sort of the end of August. It is the end of August. It's Labor Day weekend. Let's go to the X. Feeling a little crazy, a little over caffeinated, and definitely super excited about life. However, I have something I want to admit. I haven't got a freaking clue what I'm doing. Now, knowing that, I can build. I don't know about you, but I'm sure there's moments in all of our lives when we haven't got a freaking clue what we're doing. Even though we feel like we're being pulled towards something, or pushed towards something, or drawn to it. That's how I feel right now. I feel like I'm on a mission. Not necessarily one I chose, but one that's been given to me because of my gifts for the gift for the talking about the gift of the gab, and I can't even gab. Anyhow, I remember the first time I truly understood that. About 28 years old, I started figuring out that I had no idea what I was doing, and life changed, and I made things work, and I went into the film business, and you know, I've had a great life. I really can't complain about a lot of things. That being said, I'm at a point now in my life where I just made some major changes, and I don't know that the ones I've made are the right ones. However, I do know that I feel better than I felt in a long time. It's amazing how we can hold on to little bits of things because of perceived security, when truly things get shaken up. Most of us haven't got a freaking clue what we're doing. We're just doing our best out here because life is messy. That being said, I've seen a lot of my friends going through stuff over the last few years, especially since COVID. The whole world's changed since then. The world is not in the mental state that it used to be. It's not better. So, how do we make it better? Well, I think first and foremost, we have to start with ourselves. Always have to start with ourselves. And I think the easiest thing to acknowledge, if you're not feeling like you know what you're doing, or if you're feeling stressed, or if you're feeling panicked, because that's a word we could use. We'll get into that stuff later. Acknowledge it as fear. Something that I had a moment last night, all right? This is why I'm sharing it. I had a moment last night. I was at the grocery store, realized I was breathing really shallow. I was getting my heart rate up. I was feeling super stressed, and I was a little frustrated and angry. And I took a deep breath, and I realized I was so stressed because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the unknown. I don't have the stability in my life I had a few weeks ago. However, I'm not complaining about it. It's made me hungry and opened up a whole bunch of opportunities. Not a whole bunch, but a good handful or so of opportunities that I didn't have even a couple of weeks ago. That's not what I want to talk about. That's a whole separate thing, but it's kind of going well. And when we get there, the things that I'm working on, can't wait to share them. That being said, last night I got stressed. I'm like, I'm so stressed. I'm angry. And I had a realization of what was happening to me physiologically as I was creating that feeling of stress in my body and those things happening inside of me. First and foremost, I had to realize that I was stressed because of fear. And the fear had nothing to do with what is or what isn't. It had nothing to do with what is. It was the fear of what isn't. And that's a dumb thing to fear because it hasn't happened. Which is, it sounds like a whole bunch of crap, but the acronym for fear, false expectations appearing real, or false evidence appearing real. Sorry, I'm getting attached at the same time. Tough to read and do this. Fear is at the root of all of our discomfort. If we are, embarrassed, it's a fear of looking bad. If we're not where we want to be financially, it's the fear of success, or the fear of failure, or the fear of losing love, or the fear of gaining love. Some people are afraid of really weird things, balloons and clowns. All of that said, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling anxiety, I hate that word. Sure, some people might have it, but it's way overused. We'll talk about the power of words in a future video. I think that's something we really need to acknowledge lately. Anyhow, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling panicky, it's an easier way to say it, notice your breathing. How are you breathing? For me, that's the first thing I notice, is my breathing changes. If I'm breathing deep, I can feel confident and I stand different. But if I'm not, my shoulders start to slouch and I start breathing shallow and it doesn't feel good and it feels bad. And that's when the fear really starts to get the pulses, the pulse rate up and the hands clenching and, that cold sweat and sweaty palm, all of those things. But it can be stopped by acknowledging that it's just fear. Stress and anxiety and all that, it's just fear. Fear of whatever, doesn't matter. It's just fear. And if we can get to the base root of that, say, oh, well, it's just fear. Fear of something hasn't happened. Well, if it hasn't happened, then what am I afraid of? Why don't I just take a breath, acknowledge that it's fear, slow down, put my shoulders back, pull my head up, and move on. Because if you change your physiology, you change your whole life. That's something that happened to me last night. I was coming out of the grocery store. I just had this moment where everything started racing in my head, and I acknowledged, wow, this is just fear. And I actually verbally said it out loud. If anybody was right behind me, they would have heard me saying, it's just fear. It's just fear. However, strange as these things may seem, this is the way to make your mind do what you want it to do instead of what it wants to do. Because fear is its basic operating system. That's what keeps you safe in adverse situations. If you're afraid of the grizzly bear, well, then you won't fight the grizzly bear. That does somehow get messed up in people, because people do fight bears for some stupid reason. But you are not a slave to your mind unless you allow yourself to be. We all have the ability to break free of that programming. But you have to first become aware of it. And then there's some things we can do, like changing our physiology. Just take a deep breath. Heck, when's the last time you just sat and took 10 deep breaths? Doesn't take long. 10 deep breaths. How much could that change your world? Just think about that. For 3 minutes a day, you go, and just breathe. I promise you, just breathing, change your physiology. It's going to change the chemicals being released in your body, and it's going to alleviate that fear or that stress and help you a whole lot today. Anyhow, that's it for me today. Sorry it's a little weird. I've had kind of speaker's block lately, but I'm feeling back on my game. Lots of great stuff happening. I don't even know how to end this anymore. I forgot how I end this. Check out Tools and Tactics, PTSDprevention.com. Whole bunch going to be happening with that. I'm super excited about that. A whole bunch of other things happening in the world. I'm super grateful. Grateful for you watching. Grateful to have my health. I have some prayers going out to a friend of mine who does not have his health at the moment. I hope he's all right. God willing. Anyhow, sending a prayer for you, brother, if you're watching. Have a fantastic day. Till tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Till tomorrow. Know that I love you. I'll see you soon.